we'll talk about some mistakes we make while managing our time. Let's start with the most common one. Don't manage your time by subtracting hours from the day. For example, don't be like, okay, so I have 24 hours minus 8 hours of sleep and 4 hours will go to all stuff like eating, bathing, then I'll work on my business for 2 hours, study for 5. Like, don't do this. Because there are mainly two reasons. First, that who said you're going to be that time bound in the beginning? If your alarm goes off at 6 am, then are you out of your bed till 6:01? Did you count the commuting time? Did you count the small transitions you need to make from one task to the other? Have you ever timed yourself that how much time does it take you to get ready or eat? And you just straight up gave 4 hours to those tasks. Don't be like it has a small impact, because from above it might not look that scary, but these small things can compound up and you'll end up wasting hours. You'll think, man, I thought I was having 5 hours free a day to study, then how did I just study for 1? Second, that you're not getting that time in one go. Because if you still manage to get 5 hours for X task by somehow teleporting between places, there is still no guarantee that you're getting it in one go. You might be getting 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes after breakfast, 1 hour after lunch, and it is all scattered here and there. I hope you would have understood why this time subtraction approach doesn't work. The second mistake is to not just have a rough idea of what you're going to do. Don't be like, tomorrow I'll work for 4 hours, go to the gym, etc. You should never rely on this technique, as when the time has come, you'll be dealt with another thing which is known as procrastination. So now that you know the most common mistakes, let's talk about how to approach time management. For this, there can be two types of people. One is someone whose schedule is messed up, and I mean really messed up. The other is someone who, although has an average day, wants it to be more productive. So first, identify who you are. If you're the one whose day is all messed up, first ask yourself, where the hell does your time go? Do you waste it in chatting with friends, scrolling, watching Netflix, playing video games, etc.? Then first control those things. Because to manage time, you need to have some in the first place. If you are wasting 15 hours a day, then you don't even need time management. Because you cannot manage a thing which you don't have. And if you're someone whose schedule is not that messed up, then let's talk about it. You have to plan your whole day basically. Divide your time into blocks of either 30 minutes or 15 minutes. And then assign specific tasks to a bunch of those blocks. For example, your first 3 blocks are dedicated to exercise, the next 2 for another task, and go on. Let's take an average that you're sleeping 8 hours a day, so divide the 16 hours left into such blocks. Let's take 30-minute blocks. I'll take an example of a student. You can understand it and apply it to your own routine. So he has to go to school from, let's say, 8 am to 2 pm. He wakes up at 6 am and his first block, which is 6 to 6:30, is all devoted to waking up, getting fresh and stretching out. Then he works out for the next 2 blocks. Then from 8 to 2:30, including the commuting time and the changing time, he's at the school. Now he has all his day planned out before. He knows the structure and knows all the tasks that need to be done, whether it be an assignment or playing a sport. He leaves 1 or 2 blocks before his sleep empty to count for any delays that might happen in the day. Viewing it in terms of blocks makes it feel less burdened, because a 2-hour sitting might sound hard, but viewing it in terms of 4 blocks won't. I'm not saying that you'll have to do less effort because the time is same, and you'll have to accept the discomfort that comes while starting a thing. But dividing in blocks doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stop every 30 minutes. If your work is of 2 hours, don't split it. Patch it up and do it in one go. One good quality break after 2 hours is better than a small break every 30 minutes. And once you've done this for a week or so, you will have the muscle memory that what task suits which time. That's why you should test giving different times to some things in the start to check what works for you. Then you can easily just make a to-do list a day before and keep going. And it is really important to make one a day before, because if you rely on your subconscious for this decision, then you might end up picking some comfortable things. And while you're doing this, I want you to time yourself while doing simple things. If you roughly have an idea that it takes you 2 to 3 hours for eating and bathing, etc., then first get a good estimate. You might be wasting unnecessary time during those tasks. You should not be taking 40 minutes to take a bath or 50 minutes to eat your dinner. If you're spending some time with your family after a meal, then it is a good thing. Spending time with family is something that you should be grateful for. But don't take it as an excuse and just start like binge talking for 6 hours after your lunch. And you have to eat a frog in the morning. Not the actual one though. But it means to complete the toughest task of your day in the morning. If your toughest task is reading, then just do it in morning. Let's now talk about the flexibility of your time. You don't want your schedule to be so strict that even a 5-minute delay would ruin your day. Always go by the mindset to focus on what's ahead. If you had some urgent task which took time, don't be sad and think that the whole day is wasted. You still focus on the next thing and move on. Don't be like, man, I just wasted 20 minutes, now I don't have time left. So why not waste the whole day by scrolling more? See, the moment you realize that you've been wasting time, just take action immediately. Don't fall into the trap that your every day is going to be perfect. Don't think I'll start tomorrow as now I've wasted a lot of time today, because there is no such thing as tomorrow. It is just an ongoing cycle of day and night, and you sleep at night to take rest. You're not going to wake up tomorrow with some insane motivation if you're not prepared for it today and you're procrastinating it. Tomorrow will become today in some hours, and till you don't get prepared for everything that has to come, then tomorrow will be the same. Don't get into a loop of doing tomorrow, and think of every day as day one. Don't wake up with an ego that you broke your limit yesterday, because the limit you broke yesterday has now become your baseline for today, and you have a new limit. If you still expect yourself to take action tomorrow instead of today, then remember this: we never rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training.